No one really knows how good milk is for you. Almost everyone can agree that since the day we were born, milk has seemed essential in our diet. Obviously, this varies from person to person if you were strictly formula fed as a baby or learn that you had a milk allergy later on. But for the most part, people have been drinking milk for the span of their entire life. Your parents probably convinced you that you had to drink milk because it was essential to your growth and so that you would have strong bones, and they weren't wrong. Milk is full of calcium and vitamin D. Vitamin D helps the body absorb that calcium, which promotes strong bones and teeth. Calcium is an essential nutrient to our cells. If we don't get enough of it, our bones are the first to suffer. Milk also contains magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, and protein. Whole milk is a rich source of energy because it contains so much saturated fat. Although it may sound like I'm trying to talk milk up, I'm actually about to do the opposite. I think that there is some misconception on how good milk actually is for you. Milk does strengthen your bones, but so does regular physical activity, not smoking, eating a low sodium diet, and high potassium diet also contribute to overall bone health and decrease your risks of osteoporosis. Milk also contains a high amount of saturated fat, the worst kind of fat. A single serving of whole milk contains more than 20% of the recommended daily intake. If you consume 3 servings of whole milk, you've already had 60% for the day, and that's before you've even eaten any food. There are also alternatives to whole milk, like 1% milk, but a single serving of that still contains 8% of the recommended daily intake. Milk also contains a high amount of cholesterol. Both high cholesterol and saturated fat have been linked to an increased risk of heart disease. High milk intake is linked to higher risks of prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, increased cholesterol levels, and problematic acne. According to an online LA Times article called Drinking Milk: The Pros and Cons, in a 2011 study that analyzed data on nearly 200,000 middle-aged and older women and men from 6 other studies, researchers found no relationship between calcium intake and risk fractures, regardless if people drank 30 servings of milk each week or just 2. The high milk drinkers did not have improved bone health. They had more fractures, particularly hip fractures. 12% of the United States population can't even absorb lactose, the sugar in milk, beyond infancy. Nowadays, it is hard to say exactly what is going into the products you purchase at the grocery store. According to PETA.org, many cows are pumped full of antibiotics. This practice is leading to a buildup of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which may decrease the effectiveness of antibiotics used on humans. The media and milk companies are partially to blame for ensuring that milk and milk products remain popular and in high demand by releasing different flavors or filtering out different components. According to ChooseMyPlate.gov, the recommended daily intake of dairy is 2 cups for people aged 2 to 51 years plus. If you stay consistent with providing your body with about 3 cups of dairy a day, you will ensure that your bones get the correct amount of calcium and nutrients, but won't overdo it with the saturated fat and calories. So to conclude, I believe that milk is good for you in moderation. Consuming it in large quantities or multiple times a day also means that you are consuming a lot of saturated fat and you could potentially be making your bones worse off. Drinking a lot of milk won't make your bones extra strong and you won't be extra healthy.